Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Critical Reactions with your host, Brian. Unfortunately, today's video was blocked mostly everywhere. YouTube says it's a partial block, but it was a pretty lengthy list. So, as I usually do, I'm going to splice in the analysis portion after this. And if you have any comments and all that, they can go in this video space. If you want to see the full reaction plus analysis, there is a link in the description to check it out on the Google Drive. All right, thanks for being patient with me with these blocked videos. YouTube is not the greatest source for this stuff, but we make do. We get through it. All right, so without further ado, here's the analysis section. And a lot of playfulness on the rhythmic aspect, really bouncing between the downbeat and the offbeat. Yeah, so I don't know, man. I thought I knew what metalcore was coming. I thought we were gonna have a fun week. And this has just been some of the heaviest. I don't know. It's not. It's heavy sounding. I think that's the thing. It's all low notes, really working with pedal stuff, low growls, just. All right, let's get into the this analysis here. So the song comprises of. We're gonna look at some song composition. We have three main sections that get repeated a couple of times, and then our outro section, which I think was unique. The three main sections are not wildly different. They all share a lot of the same properties, but there are some minor tempo changes and possibly time signature changes. However, I'm not sure if they just change it up to having some really interesting um, rhythmic phrasing, which I think is what's going on. The one section that really caught me off guard is the third section that we go into. It's the section that comes after the part where it speeds up a little bit and the guitarist takes over vocals, and then we hit the next section that I don't think has any vocals in it, and that's the one that I'm a little iffy on whether it stays in 4/4 or not, but I think we do stay in 4/4. There's just interesting phrasing and accent work going on. So the most part though, if you take out those minor changes, and I do say they are minor because the majority of the song sounds very similar, we get a song that really doesn't move a lot. It kind of sits in one place, which is, I don't know, to me it's interesting because we tend to see the songs that sit in one place are more in some of the post music we listen to, and they really sit inside of that emotional envelope. They create that bubble that they sit in, and they just kind of chill in it. And here we see stagnation through modification. I don't know if that's possible. I mean, it is possible. All three of these sections are different from each other, but the overall feel of the song is rather static, and that's really cool in itself. I'm not going to say it's something that I enjoyed listening to, but I appreciate the fact that they created this single sound and found multiple ways to stay within it that didn't feel entirely disjointed, while not really feeling entirely different either. It's really wild how they pulled that off. I really enjoyed the fact that they had two vocalists and that neither one of them were exclusively singers. That's really cool. Uh, I've seen a couple of bands with the drummer as the singer before. It's not hugely popular, which is why I mentioned it right off the bat. That was really cool. I like seeing that. Usually with bands, lots of bands have had their lead singer also be a guitarist. So that tends to be more popular of a choice, but it is really cool to see the drummer popping up. I like that. Usually drummers are more usually drummers are more rhythmic oriented. I was about to say in regards to the drummer who sang in a rhythmically oriented manner. But no, it kind of fits that way. The more I think about it, actually, many of the times when a drummer has done backup vocals, at least in my experience, it has been growls and screams, not necessarily cleans. I know that there's some drummers from older time periods where they did cleans as well, but the more I see in modern rock and metal, the drummer tends to do growls, and I wonder how much of a correlation it has to do with growling or fry vocals, fry screams being more rhythmic oriented than melodic. I don't know if there's a correlation there or not, but I don't know if there's a causation there or not, but I see the correlation. It's pretty interesting. Um, but yeah, so we have this band that's heavily rhythmic oriented, lots of low pedal tones, just really jamming on them, creating this ridiculously heavy, dense atmosphere with these growls going against it. And there really is nothing to lighten this up. There's no keyboard or lead melody line to really bring it up out of this heavy low end. And so you end up with this song that is just oppressively heavy, lots of harshness and aggression, and I don't know, man. That is just not for me. I appreciate what they're doing, how they're doing it, um, and the fact that it just comes out so strong. There's very few bands that have this just oppressiveness to their sound. But yeah, like I said, just not really for me. And I don't know, man. Where's the melody? This is three songs in a row that have been all low heavy end, all heavy low end, and pretty much no melody. And that is just not. I understood metalcore to be heavy, sort of like a post-hardcore with less of a punk influence, more of a metal influence. And we're just not getting that. I don't know if maybe I'm thinking of a different era of metalcore. I know metalcore's been around for a while, and it could have evolved. Maybe I'm just thinking of earlier metalcore. Maybe I'm thinking of stuff that is parallel to metalcore, very close. So maybe it was called metalcore, but it doesn't necessarily embody the core components of metalcore. I don't know. It's very possible my definition is off, but this is just so weird. This is just like with jazz. At least when we did jazz fusion, I understood where the misconception landed, and I understood why I got songs that didn't really fit what I was expecting. At least that made sense to me because I understood it was a nomenclature, a vocabulary thing, the evolution of language. But with this one, I'm just I looked into the metalcore definition before I put the poll up because I wanted to make sure I knew what I was getting into. I didn't want to put up something super heavy and not know I was getting into something super. I don't mind super heavy weeks as long as I know I'm getting into them. And this is just not what I was expecting, despite I don't know weird stuff. This is where you guys come in. Now I know this was a light episode for the analysis, but um, Code Orange. This song at least is sort of a one trick pony for me. I don't want that to sound negative, but it's like I said, they change very minor things, and it ends up being a song with sort of a single identity going from start to finish. Just that really heavy low end with a lot of punch, and then the growls. The one thing I don't think I talked about too much was the transitions, and like I said, there weren't any. This is a song that is harsh and aggressive in every aspect. There is no smooth transition between sections. They are harsh, changing right on a dime, and if you aren't keeping up with it, that's your fault, right? You can get that sonic whiplash. That's not on them. They're here to make aggressive, punchy music, and they do that in every aspect. It is kind of phenomenal how much of that aggression oriented writing bleeds into every aspect of the song, from the vocal delivery, from the instrumental lines to the rhythmic elements to the transitions. Everything is just focused on being punchy and aggressive. So, I mean, that is pretty cool on that front. This is where you guys come in. Hit me up in the comments. Let me know your thoughts on Code Orange is Forever. If you enjoyed it, if you didn't enjoy it, maybe anything that might help me. Maybe I missed something. I don't know. Like I said, the analysis was kind of light, but I also feel like I exhausted everything I thought about listening to it. So, yeah. Um, Also, what's up with metalcore? I know we're halfway through the week, and I don't know, like I said, I'm just a little confused. I thought we were in for something with more melody. Heavy, for sure, but more melody. At least I understood that there's a lot of melody in the choruses. Like I said, it kind of shares that with post-hardcore, where you alternate between, heavy verses and lighter choruses. And maybe what I'm thinking of is just post-hardcore. Maybe the band I'm thinking of maybe leaned a little bit more towards that rather than metalcore. Maybe they were post-hard metalcore. I don't know. Above the comment section is a description box with some links for stuff adjacent to the channel, such as the Patreon, the Discord community, and the Twitter. A bunch of other stuff in there as well. Go ahead and take a look. See if there's anything that interests you. Click on some links. Go look at some stuff. Below that is a like, subscribe, and a bell to ring. All three of those things help out the channel. I'll be back tomorrow, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 9 p.m. UTC, with our penultimate metalcore reaction for the week. Yeah. And until next time, remember, always be critical, never be cynical about the music you listen to, and have a fantastic morning, afternoon, or evening whenever you choose to watch my videos.